Hey everybody, what's up? Dan here. Matt is out today, so I'll be taking, I guess, the initial part of this. We got Brad here. Bobby's out as well. What's up, Brad?
How's it going, bro?
Good. What do we got? Episode 55 today?
Episode 55, we're going to talk a little bit about Skillset versus Mindset.
Cool.
But hey, before we jump in,
obviously,
Mr. Dan Greiner is the Sunset Country Club champion. Is that what I saw this weekend?
Yep. I won the club championship, so got it's actually a big ass trophy.
That thing looked like it was like a fucking 100 years old, though.
It is. It's 95 years old.
So does it travel? Like, is it a traveling trophy?
So, I'll have it.
You're not going to be giving that up anytime soon, right?
I have to. What they do is they actually make you a crystal version of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's not as big. I mean, this thing's like fucking 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but what was shitty is, and voicing this on the podcast, if any members are listening, this is the story, but basically the guy I played against flipped out.
So before we get to that, how many people did you have to eliminate before you got to this guy?
Well, it started with the 32 best golfers, or really the 30 best golfers, because one person got a bye. It's match play. So basically it's like the NCAA,
you win, you move forward.
Bracket play.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one-on-one, one versus one. And I eliminated 5 people to get to the finals. And then
how old was this guy? How long has he been a member at Sunset?
He's probably been there 7, 8 years. He's 45-ish. Yeah. And
used to be the hot man. Now he got the throne overtaken.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that a lot of people were rooting against me just because I just joined in April. So it's like, oh, the new fucking guy's going to come in and like clean up or whatever. And so, because he would hit a shot and people would clap. I would hit a shot and people
you had fans watching?
Yeah, there was probably like 80 people.
Dang.
Like following us around, watching and whatnot.
I should have turned into the golf channel this weekend. I didn't even know.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was 36 holes and...
Did you smoke them?
I did, yeah.
There you go.
It was a beatdown.
Yeah. Don't take your foot off the gas ever.
No. Well, so... Yeah, I mean, we got to the third to last hole, and he realized I'm going to lose. And he's a defense attorney.
Okay.
And so he has all these mind games, The first 4 holes, he's like jingling coins in his pocket to try to get my head. Didn't work. Yeah. Then he's turning up music in my backswing. Didn't work. It's like, what else are you going to fucking do? Yeah. Like, I know I'm a better golfer.
You got 5 kids. Like, that shit ain't going to get it done.
Right, yeah. Noise doesn't bother me. But we get to like the third to last hole, and he goes, how does a short fat fuck like you hit the ball so far? And I was like,
did you tell him you were a fucking fatly?
No, I go, I don't know, man. It must be because I have a huge dong. So, because I was trying to diffuse the situation.
Since you just said that,
right.
Okay. What does a chick say to a guy with a huge dick?
What?
I knew you wouldn't know. I knew you wouldn't know.
That's some good shit. Oh, man. No, so I try to diffuse it with a little comedy. Okay, I know he's about to flip a switch.
Yeah.
And he's actually done this before to somebody else, and it got physical.
No shit.
Yeah, but the other guy was 6'5", like great shape. Yeah. And so then we get to the next hole, and he's like, oh, dude, you won't be here next year. You can't afford this place. I'm like, you don't even fucking know me, bro. Yeah. Like, I probably make more than you.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, he's just going nuts. And so he blows up on that hole. He hits his ball way right, hits a tree, then he duffs it, then he hits another tree. Man. And I'm just like, everybody, there's 80 people watching this self-destruction. It was great.
It didn't even matter.
And then so we go to the next tee box. Well, that was where we were one-on-one.
Okay.
And where nobody could see us, nobody could hear us. And I said, hey, man, you're not going to talk to me like this.
Yeah.
Like, the bottom line is like, I actually like you. And so for you to just like flip a switch and start saying all this shit, like, he's like, nobody likes you. And I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really necessarily care. Right? Yeah. But I was like, dude, you're about to lose. And, you're not going to talk to me like this over this tournament or whatever. Because I played in bigger tournaments than this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this was cool.
You knew
but
you were
like,
going to win that one. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it was like I didn't even practice for 2 weeks going into it because of work and stuff, and he was practicing every single day. So I think he like really thought like he had a chance. But anyway, so
that's perfect to roll into our topic today, though.
Yeah.
I mean, skill set versus mindset.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So. It is true. But no, let me to finish up. So he, I said, hey, we're not going to talk to each other like this. Like, I like you. And he just looked at me and was like, fuck you, Greiner. I was like, okay. Yeah. And so I looked at him and I go, dude, you're a bitch. Like, you're acting like a straight bitch. And you're going to cry out your loss because I'm about to beat you.
Yeah.
Straight to his face. And he's like, go ahead and hit your ball. I was like, I will, 40 yards past you. And I did.
Yeah.
And then when I closed out the whole thing on that hole. And he ended up going to shake my hand. And I was like, no, dude, just because there's 80 people around here, you want to like save face and shake my hand? And I gave him like the, cut their thing, like get the fuck away from me. And then my kids ran out, my wife ran out, my grandpa was there, my parents were there, and I'm taking pictures with them and he's talking shit.
While that's going on.
While it's going on. And like, I was like, I don't really care. Like, I get shit talking. It doesn't really bother me too much. But when you talk shit like in front of my kid, especially my son, I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here like, and so
because you can't take that.
I was literally about to beat his ass in front of like everybody, but I didn't. And so, anyways,
well, that's it. That was a fun weekend at the fucking country club.
There's always drama out there.
I bet there's some good shit going on.
It's crazy, man. It's wild. What about you?
Nothing, man. Pretty much inked my deal for taking care of race car, flying back out to Cali next weekend. So I will be off the pod next week. So I probably won't have any listeners next week. But yeah, I mean, I get it. So so I'm going to be pretty busy moving forward. We're going to run, looks like 11 races before Thanksgiving. So
you guys going to actually win one?
I don't know. His last
car didn't win.
He hasn't drove since April. So he's like, I just want to get some laps, but there is like 2 races on our schedule that like I feel like he could probably get it done at.
All right, I gotta ask you a question though, for real.
What's up?
It's not you that doesn't want to race. Your wife won't let you race.
No. I mean, if I wanted to race, I could. It's just like with everything I have going on, it's just not worth it. Like a guy last weekend got paralyzed. And I'm just
really?
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, like risk versus reward. Like I got too much shit going on right now to like be selfish and get in a race.
I know we'd have to wheel you into the pod.
I'd for sure have an electric wheelchair.
It'd be fast.
Fuck yeah, fast as fuck, boy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, man. So we don't have Matt. We don't have Bobby. So it should be a pretty quick podcast.
But it'll be packed full of fucking content, value.
Oh yeah. For sure. Because we're here. Most value is here tonight.
Exactly.
All right. So quotes. What do you got? So mindset versus skill set.
So the quote that I got is, so what I've been doing is I just write a quote down every single day now. So it doesn't really have to do with necessarily our topic, but it is tough times never last, but tough people do. And that's by Robert H. Scholler. And I guess it does kind of apply here because there's times where somebody might have a skill set developed that they're really good at, but they are not smart enough to have that growth mindset to know when they need to learn more to get out of those tough times.
Yeah. So mine is more of a, I guess, skill set thing is the first million is hard. The second is inevitable. Yeah. And so actually, I watched the video. I saw it one time, and I love that one because it's so true. It's like, dude, if you've done something once, you have the skill set to do it again.
Exactly.
So if you lose, I mean, look at like Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. The dude went to jail, lost everything, and then he got it all back. And it's because he knows how. He has the skill set to go out, make money. He knows the process of what it takes and all that. And of course, he has a personal brand and whatnot, but you still have to put the work in. And so I like that the second is inevitable. If you lose everything and you were able to do it once, you're able to do it again.
Yeah, like we've talked about that before. I mean, I think Grant Cardone's done that where, he shows up with no money and, 6 months later he's got, $4 million or some bullshit from a TV show that they do, But it's like, I say that all the time. Like we could give everybody in the country, take all the money away from everybody. And the people who are successful and have a lot of money are going to get right back there, just like you said, because they have that skill set developed that they know what it takes to get that money.
Right. And I think with the skill set, you start developing the mindset because you can't build a skill set without getting kicked in the nuts a few times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and failing and all that. And you start to build that mindset. Like for me, like this weekend, like I had the mindset to win. And yeah, it was a little club championship or whatever. But at the end of the day, it was being able to like get past all the bullshit. And that was the mindset piece of just attacking the process and not worrying about all the external factors going on. So because of that, I was able to close it out. And I think that you have to have a mindset along with the skill set to be super successful.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And because, I didn't really think about this a whole lot until we started like prepping for this episode. And mindset is your established attitude or beliefs. But within a mindset, you have a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And I think a lot of people who maybe, spin the wheels a little bit, or it takes them longer to be successful, is somebody that has a fixed mindset. And that's somebody who settles into what's working and doesn't change. It's like, oh, well, this works. I'm making X amount of dollars and I'm going to continue to do this over and over and over. Then you have other people who are a little bit more successful, who are wanting to have more and more and more. They have a growth mindset. They're always trying to learn. They're trying to figure out, how can I do this quicker, or how can I make this work for me? And they recognize like, okay, well, I've hit a plateau. What do I have to do next? And they move forward. And a skill set is your range of abilities. And for me, with a skill set, anybody in the world can learn a skill set.
Yeah.
You can learn how to play guitar on fucking YouTube tonight if you wanted to.
I think Tim Ferriss said you can be like top 5% in the world at anything within 1 year. And I was thinking that our podcast right now, all we did was put out 55 episodes, and we're literally top 1%. We're actually top 0.2% of podcasts in the United States, which sounds really good when you say it that way.
Yeah.
But the reality is there's quite a few podcasts in front of us, but there's so many of them that, like, if you really think about getting to the top 5% or top 1% even, it's really not that outlandish.
No.
Because there's so many people not fucking doing anything.
But the part that I think is super interesting, though, I think what separates somebody dramatically and is kind of like a silent killer is your mindset. Because you can have the greatest skill in the world, but if you don't have that mindset like hidden in there, that's like, okay, well, how can I get a little bit better? You're never going to try to be a little bit better. You're going to be like, oh, well, dude, like I can fucking frame a house out in fucking a day. Well, Right. It's like, yeah, but that maybe your quality wasn't what it was, or somebody's always trying to look, and that's something that's not a tangible item. Like you can't see somebody's mindset. I don't know what your mindset is. I don't see through your eyes, but I can see how you work, which is your skill set. But I don't see what's going on in your brain.
Right.
And I think that's something that, like, how do you identify that for somebody?
Well, I think that how do you identify? By looking at them. So it's like, for me, if you look at like the Tom Brady's of the world, or, Michael Jordan, whoever, Kobe, it's like, those guys could have got to the NBA and said, hey, I have the skill set to play here. I'm going to be a mediocre player for my career, but I'll be able to play, and then you have the guys like Kobe or Tiger Woods or, whoever, who they were constantly working towards like, how can I get better? How can I get better? How can I get better? A crazy thing, and maybe we don't have a lot of people that know golf that well listening, but Tiger Woods was at the peak he was the best golfer in the world by far. He didn't need to change anything. What did he do? He completely changed his swing. Yeah. And everybody's like, if he would have never done that, he would have, And so I look at it and I know why he did. And he did it because he knew he reached a peak. And so the only way to get better or to do anything, to make the game interesting, was to
develop a new skill.
To do something, to do something different, because what he's got going on isn't going to make him any better. He's, and so when people are like, I can't believe he would do that, it's like, well, that's a growth mindset.
Yeah. And I just had a conversation with somebody about Tiger Woods, because I said, like, dude, what the fuck happened? Like, Jordan Spieth, like, that motherfucker came out swinging like, he won like almost every tournament, it seemed like, for like 2 or 3 years. And now it's like, it seems like he's on the struggle bus.
Well, you see that with a lot of the golfers. That's what's so amazing about like the greatest of all time type individuals, like a Brady or somebody, is like the consistency that
over time. They're just so good. Yeah.
Everybody's going to have peaks. Like, life is all about waves. We've talked about this before, where it's like you're going to have hot streaks where you're fucking really good, and then you're going to have where it cools off, and then you're really good again, and then it cools off. And that's what you see at the top level. All these players are phenomenal players. They're going to go through little spurts. You'll see Jason Day. You saw Rory McIlroy. You saw Jordan Spieth. You saw all those guys go through that, but none of them continue to try to just like keep just foot on the gas, get better. And I think you see that with a lot of athletes, like, they get a big contract and then poof.
Yeah.
Because they're complacent now. They got the deal. They grinded their dick off. They got their money, and now they take it a little bit easy. And not everybody does that, but I'm saying you see it quite often.
But I do think that's also something that's interesting. Like I asked, like, how do you identify like who has that growth mindset or not? But like then you look at some of these coaches, like look at like a Bill Belichick or a Nick Saban. Like these guys clearly like they drafted Mac Jones, who was like way deep in the chart as far as like a draft pick goes. Like he was overlooked. Now he's a starting quarterback for the fucking Patriots. Right. And it's like Alabama obviously produces nonstop guys, and I'm sure they have like the ability to get whoever they want. But still, Nick Saban is the type of guy that must be able to like look at somebody and not even look at their stats. Like he doesn't care about that. It's like what can I draw out of these people to use their skill set to their advantage?
Well, I think so. I always reference this book. It's The Talent Code. It's a great book, but one of the things that you have to be the best in the world at what you do is passion. Yeah. I think even Steve Jobs mentioned, like, if you don't have passion for it, then you're going to give up as soon as you get to a challenge. And so, if I'm recruiting anybody and they really fucking want it and they're hungry, like I have a situation right now where I have this girl who reached out to me and she's like, hey, I'm in recruiting and I want to pick your brain. Like, if you didn't have a growth mindset, you wouldn't be reaching out just to see what's up.
For sure.
And now I'm trying to hire her.
Yeah.
Because it's like you care enough to reach out to people to get advice and like try to find a mentor or something like that. Like the people that want that shit, that go out and get it, they have that growth mindset, where the people that either think they have it all figured out and they're not, you know what I mean? I think that's where you can start to identify these people have the growth mindset. These people kind of are fixed.
For sure. And I think it also kind of relates to a little bit of what Bedros said about an entrepreneur. Like that's the type of employee that it sounds like reached out to you, is like somebody who has that entrepreneurial mind. Maybe they don't have like the aspect of taking risks, but they're still trying to grow every single time. Where I feel like a lot of employees that are in the workforce right now are people who are just, they punch the clock, if they even fucking do punch the clock.
Right.
And they put in their time, and they're not worried about being better.
Well, that's what's crazy to me is like the person who, it's almost like you gave up on your dreams. Because I think that I could be wrong here. Maybe I'm speaking out of line, but like I think every kid has a growth mindset. Like, oh, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be this, or I want to be that. And then over time, like, oh, that's like, let's do something realistic. Yeah. Let's do this, let's do that. And then that just starts getting pelted in your head. Like, okay, let's be real. You know what I mean? And then you're finally like, okay, well, I give up on like trying to grow because, I was supposed to go to college. I went to college. I was supposed to get a job. I got a job. I'm making my salary, and, that covers, my 1,500 square foot house, and it covers my barbecue on the weekends, and I'm good, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just, I think some people get to a point of complacency is what starts to create that fixed mindset.
Well, and like the part that's so fucked up is like, I think me and you are the same type of parent, in the sense of like, if our kid says, hey, I want to do this. Like, we're going to be like, okay, you want to go fucking do this? Let's fucking do it. But like, we're going to try hard at it if we're going to do it. But like, at what point, when does that change? Like, who are these people? Is it like the rich dad, poor dad deal where there's a dad where it's like, no, you need to go to college, you need to make this much money, and that's it? Or like, have we been around enough people who are like, dude, like, you can literally do whatever you want to be. You just got to put in the fucking effort. Like, or is it just the school systems now?
I mean, I 100% think that the school systems are the ones spitting out like these mindsets. I also think it can be parents. My parents, thought it was stupid that I started a business, and you love your parents, but it's like they're not always, because they want the best for you, and in their minds,
what they're telling you is what they think's the best.
Right, exactly. So it wasn't like they're saying it like, oh, you're dumb for doing it. It's like, oh my God, you're doing that. What if it doesn't work? I want the best for you, and I know that my safe life is what's best. You know what I mean? And so like,
but I'm sure they're happy for you now that it all worked out, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and so I don't know. I guess that's my thoughts on.
No, it's definitely an interesting deal, and I think it's something moving forward that's going to be an issue. But I think, since we're talking about, like, you started your own business today, taking the comfortable route, I think moving forward and say like, hey, the next 10 or 15 years, I think if you want to actually live like a truly comfortable life, you're going to have to be self-employed. I don't think if you're an employee somewhere 15 years from now, you're going to have the luxuries to do the things you may do now, just because of the cost of living is going through the roof right now.
Yeah, I mean, at some point there will be, I mean, it's hard to say, right? But yeah, I think it's a lot easier to have your own business now because you have access to customers a lot easier. You can, when you find them, you're able to support them because technology is cheaper and you know what I mean? Like all these things are just cheaper than they were before. And when you cut out, I'm not saying cutting out like the business owner, because I think most business owners want the best for their employees, but I do think that there's a lot of costs built in for a bigger organization that you don't need if you just streamline and you had a lifestyle business of like 3 or 4 clients and that was it, you know? And so I do think you'll see a lot more people being, you know, self-employed, but it'll be lifestyle. Like, I don't know if they'll scale up very quickly, right? Like they'll be almost like consultants or something like that.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either, though. But,
no, I mean, that's all it takes, honestly, is like 3 or 4 clients and your bills are paid. You know, people don't realize that.
And like you said, there will still be that percentage that does want to scale, but I think you're probably right in that aspect of like you'll get the people who end up being that fixed mindset there where they reach their 3 or 4 clients that pays the bills and they live the life they want to live, but they're still not able to escalate to that super 1%.
Yeah. And you said something earlier that I want to mention is like, I mean, I think you still need people with mindset in your life to get you to have that mindset because you can go out and you could not believe in yourself because, you know, it's like the yacht thing we always bring up. Like we see the yacht and we know that, hey, if that motherfucker can get a yacht, we can get a yacht, right? But there's some people that go and they're like, damn, I'll never be able to get that. Well, if you have somebody in your corner, such as your parents, right?
Yeah.
Like I try to be, or you have a mentor or something like that who already has that mindset and who already realizes it's capable and already understands the process of making that happen, then maybe they change your mindset over time because they make it a reality that it can happen. And so like with my daughter, you know, you want to be a really good dancer, you know, it's possible. You can do whatever you want to do. But you have to be real about your current situation. And her last dance studio is not good, you know? And it's like, if you want to have fun, you can stay there. If you want to do competitive dance and we're going to pay all this money for competitive dance, we're going to go to the best fucking studio we can find.
I know where you guys were. That place was a fucking shithole.
Did you go there?
We brought my daughter there one time and I'm like, I am not bringing her back to this fucking place.
Well, you know who went?
I know who goes there.
Yeah. So, anyways.
I was like, fucking... Is there a trailer parked out back or what? Like,
so, but I mean, hey, if you're having fun, that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, again, like not everybody's going to have that growth mindset where it's just like balls to the wall, like all the time, want to grow. There's nothing wrong with like being happy with your life, you know, at a certain point and just wanting to dance or just wanting to work to
pay the bills.
You know,
get that 24 pack for Friday.
Like that's cool. But I also do think there is a problem with people that don't want to work.
We could have a whole conversation about that could be a whole podcast. But no, I mean, I think that for me, I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I did hit a plateau and I don't know if I would really call it complacent. Like I still wanted to be better, but I kind of got comfortable. Like I was like, shit's rolling pretty good. You know, we're busy. And I guess I just took my foot off the gas. I was still trying to be better, but it kind of was the trip out west kind of kicked me in the ass again. You know, when I kind of, you know, I saw the dollar signs in front of my face a little bit. I'm like, man, I'd like to close this out, you know, and it kind of got me geared back up. And that's when, you know, I think I talked to you. It was like, hey, you know, I need a fucking power list item. And like, boom, right away.
Who recommended that?
You. Yeah. So, the one that's actually been working. I mean, like I got 3 checks sitting here in the notebook, you know, ready to go get deposited. That's all from the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's been good.
And kind of to couple that, I also like, you know, I did some things in the last 18 months that like I've always wanted to do. And not being like a fucking douche on the country club. I actually play golf. I'm not there to like be like, you know what I mean?
This
like
dude literally posts on Instagram every single day pretty much that he's fucking swinging a golf club.
But it's not, I'm not going to the club for that. I'm going to the club to save time so I can spend it doing other
if you can play
things.
golf in
2.5 hours versus 6 hours. So anyways, but I was able to do that. I was able to get a lake house, and I was able to buy my house that I'm in, and you know what I mean. And it's like, those are wins. So fuck it. I guess I'm bragging, whatever. But I'll celebrate the fact that like I was able to achieve that. But
bragger.
Once you get that shit that you fucking worked for, like
I think
it's easy to get complacent, man. It's
yeah.
so fucking easy. I remember when I first joined up there, and I was like driving around, fucking loving life. It's a Tuesday at 2:00. I'm just fucking playing golf, and I'm like, holy fuck! If I'm up here, I'm complacent.
Yeah.
Like I'm not growing.
And this is kind of hypocritical of me, but I do think that like it is important to enjoy those wins. You know what I mean? Like, but the difference is like in both of our situations, yours and mine, we recognize that there was an issue. We recognize like, okay, we've plateaued, we've hit a spot.
Right.
What can we do? And that's the issue. Yeah. A lot of people aren't doing that, and they're just like, oh, well, this is comfortable, I'm fine, and they move on. Like,
yeah, and there's people that, you know, easy come, easy go with money.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there's a lot of people that when the going's good, they make all this fucking money and they spend it like it's never going to stop, you know?
Yeah.
And then they get complacent and they get used to spending that amount of money, and then the market crashes or this happens or, you know what I mean?
And there's a lot of studies about that. Like it shows the doctors and lawyers are some of the people that are in the most debt because they can't keep up with us. You know, it's a keeping up with the Joneses type deal. You know, once you get to that level, it's hard to go back down.
Right. And so, you know, I try to always be conscious of that, of just like, okay, I'm not going to go just spend money. Like, what if a year from now, nobody's hiring? You know what I mean? Like, then I have to.
I think you're okay for a little bit.
at least I have the skill set, right?
Yeah,
like to be able to figure out something else and put the process in place and all that. But, you know, at the end of the day, that might take a year or two. And like, if I spend money at the rate I make it and that happens, I'm fucked, you know? And so I try to never get complacent. In fact, I tell myself every day, hey, you're broke. Like every fucking day, I'm like, dude, you're broke.
I mean, I have people telling me all the time, you know, I've got a pretty sweet deal happening. And they're like, oh, dude, go buy a new truck, or, oh, you know, you should buy a new house now. And it's like, I could go do that right now. Like, that's not a fucking problem. But the issue is like you're saying, like, well, what if in 6 months this deal's over?
Right.
Now I've extended myself and I don't have that money coming in. Why not wait until I have it all, where it's like, okay, I can cover my bills for 6 months if, say, I don't have any money coming in, I can still cover my fucking house payment for 6 months. Right. You know, like that's not how most people think. You know, they're living paycheck to paycheck until they hit a fucking issue, and then now we're paying for them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing is like, that's where like you can never get complacent. And that's part of the reason why I love entrepreneurship or owning a business, is because it keeps you in check all the time. Like you're always fucking conscious of money
it forces
in, money
you
out.
to be.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep grinding.
I mean, I don't know about you. How often do you look at your bank statement?
I mean, I probably open it every day.
So do I. I mean, I look at mine every single day. It's not to like sit there and like count every penny.
Dude.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, but like, I feel like as an entrepreneur, you can open up your online banking. You can see what the money is, and you can be like, stuff's good.
Right.
Or what happened this week? And that's something that most people aren't even aware of. And I know our balances are probably larger than most, not bragging.
There's probably people listening that are way larger. But
well, yeah, I mean, Andy Frisella's, I mean, one of our best.
We're close to him.
Highest fans. But. Yeah. I mean, we're getting there. Yeah. So,
no. But no. So, I mean, that's just the financial piece. And that's why entrepreneurship. But I think that you have it. I mean, you've been working out a lot and you have that growth mindset of like, hey, I'm trying to, but where does that, you know, how do you achieve the growth? I think that it comes with like having goals related to metrics, related, like what is the action item? So I think that's the skill set of the growth mindset, right?
Yeah. And like what you said, like, okay, working out or golf or whatever. I think what you see with highly successful people or high achievers in general is like I feel like we are the type of people that could be good at almost anything. Like, give us a week, we'll fucking figure it out. Like, if we suck at it, we're the type of people who are like, either, first of all, I'm never fucking doing that again because I suck at it, or I'm going to fucking come back in a month, I'm going to beat your ass.
What you're saying, you'll try anything once and...
Yeah, pretty much.
And then
you got to try it a second time to make sure it
wasn't a fluke.
Yeah. I know what you tried one time. Did you try it twice? What was his name? Alejandro or something?
Matt.
It was Matt. That makes a lot of sense.
No, sorry. Yeah, I mean, where the fuck were we?
Trying one thing.
Like if you can't figure it out,
we're gonna fucking figure it out.
But also, it's like if we play ping pong and you beat me, I'm like, fucking tee it up again. Tee it up again. And I think like competitiveness also creates that growth mindset because you always want to get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit
1%,
better.
right?
So, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that was a good episode. What do you think?
That's all we got? I mean, yeah.
I mean, we could keep spitting fire, but that's up to you.
I know.
Rich, how long have we been going at it so far? How long is this podcast?
Like a 4-hour podcast so far.
So a little bit longer than Rogan.
Yeah. We want to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to give all of our secrets in one day.
Yeah.
You know, this is like a teaser.
You know, just the tip, just for a second.
We're streamlined without Matt here.
Yeah, Matt's definitely the quarterback of the operation. Like we have notes, and then he ends up skipping from like page 1 to page 4, and then back to page 1.
So, well, fuck. I don't really have anything else, dude.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, guys. If you made it this far, like write a fucking review. I mean, we're top 10 in Zimbabwe.
Like, honestly, yeah, did you guys talk about that last week?
We did talk about it. We talked about it before you even sent the message.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, look. And then you texted me while we were talking about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's cool.
Oh, wait, you didn't listen?
Like, I mean, come on, guys. We're in America. We'd like some American reviews. I mean, Zimbabwe is cool and all, but like, hook us up in the States with some feedback. We appreciate everybody listening.
And
I don't think I've reviewed you. Should I review you guys?
Yeah, 100%. 5 stars.
Yeah.
Well,
only review us if it's 5 stars.
These guys have great taste in coffee, and their podcast is good.
The coffee's better than the podcast.
Yeah. So, all right, well, cool.
Yep, and Mastermind is set for October 20th.
In St. Louis.
In St. Louis. So anybody that's interested, business owner, you want to fly
let us know soon. We have to get a bigger
house.
Venue for sure.
Yeah.
You can stay at my house, yeah. All right, guys.
Okay, see ya.
We'll see ya.